CBS 2 is on weather watch at the lakefront. One reason, Chicago is home to extreme swings in temperature.
What's the weakest point in your home? Severe storms can threaten your family. Are you prepared?
We're hundreds of feet high above the ground in downtown Chicago. It's a spectacular view. But are buildings like these in danger during storms?
Do you know what to do if you're out in the open when severe weather strikes? How you may be putting yourself at risk without even knowing it.
This is a CBS 2 Weather Watch. Severe storms.
I'm Steve Baskerville. When severe storms hit, this is our home base. This is where it all happens, the CBS 2 Weather Center.
And I'm Megan Glaros. Over the next 30 minutes, how this high-tech weather center means you'll know about a threat as soon as we do.
I'm Mary Kay Kleist, and now we have these same detection systems on the move with the CBS 2 Mobile Weather Lab.
I'm Ed Curran. What do you do during a severe storm watch or warning? Well, we didn't have to travel far to find families who will never be complacent again.
Atmospheric conditions ripe for destruction. An EF4 wedge tornado, the strongest on record ever in DeKalb County.
They're advising a large tornado on the ground.
One of only 33 tornadoes of that magnitude or stronger in the entire state of Illinois in the last 65 years. Sirens rang, but with a path 30 miles long and a max width of over 700 meters, the tiny town of Fairdale didn't stand a chance against this 200-mile-per-hour beast of nature, claiming lives of friends and neighbors, Jerry Schultz and Jacqueline Klasa. 2 people did die,
yes.
Which, looking at what I see now,
yes.
Seems like it could have been much worse.
Right.
What do you attribute that to?
The only thing I can contribute to is God's blessing that it wasn't more.
Amazing stories of close calls canvassed the town like the debris scattered ground.
That's where they survived. I met with the people, and I guess the dog and the wife had bruises on them where they were holding them so tight. But then they showed me this, and they actually spray painted on there where they were during the tornado and how they survived it.
The tornado was on the ground for 41 minutes, just a few of those in Fairdale. Long enough to leave the town in ruins.
It was just amazing that quick. And you don't realize, I guess, that it can happen that fast. And they said it was just here and gone.
The National Weather Service describes EF4 tornado damage as devastating, and it can be described as nothing else. This home, the side of it, completely gone, but yet you can still see the milk in the refrigerator door blown off. It seems sometimes indiscriminate. One part of the house is damaged, the other is fine, but this damage is just incredible to behold. I mean, this huge field littered with debris, homes here that are no more, the foundations completely there, but the home is gone. Weeks on from that horrifying night, signs of fortitude. From the makeshift shrine carved into a broken tree to the American flags hung in the face of devastation. All that's left of the home behind me now, just these front steps. There may not have been a way to save this home, but lives can be saved simply by having a weather radio that lets you know when severe weather is close. You can find Weather Watch NOAA radios at Walgreens throughout the Chicago area. Just look for the CBS 2 Weather Team display.
In Washington, Illinois, the first prediction came days before the powerful F4 tornado even touched down. It was a smartphone that gave David Bandy minutes to take cover. The same phone caught the tornado.
We were in our basement for 40 seconds, and, this is our house.
We surveyed a renewed Washington from Chopper 2.
We're entering the area right where the tornado entered Washington, and the evidence is clear. Trees shattered next to the golf course here. What's amazing as you fly over Washington is that you really pick the path based on where there are no trees left, because so much construction has gone on here. There's really a brand new subdivision beneath you. Out of all the buildings destroyed here, only 52 empty lots remain.
It's a beautiful new neighborhood, a much different drive than the one I took in November of 2013, right after winds of nearly 200 miles per hour damaged or destroyed over 1,000 structures, including this one, the Bandy home. Today, their new home has a second story. It retains its most important feature, a basement. Across the street, Mark Stevens also headed for the basement. What was left of your home?
The basement. That was it. Yeah, everything else was gone.
Weather warnings have an even greater meaning here.
You definitely want to take it serious. I never thought it would happen to us. I mean, with the chances of it coming through our neighborhood.
Michelle Stevens shows us the safe room in their basement. It has concrete walls and a concrete roof that doubles as their front porch. You feel better having this?
I think so, yes. I think our kids will definitely appreciate it. They are pretty traumatized by the whole situation.
Washington Mayor Gary Manier says some of the most serious injuries happened when people tried to get great tornado images. With 3 lives lost, a lesson has been learned.
I think everybody's going to heed warnings and go to the shelter and stay safe.
I would definitely take those alerts seriously because you honestly really never know. And a tornado doesn't care if you're a big building or a little house. It just doesn't care.
Taking cover, taking no chances.
Don't take things for granted.
Can it happen to you?
It could happen to you, yes. Why couldn't it happen in Chicago?
If you think tornadoes only hit small towns and cornfields, well, that's a weather myth. Twisters can and have hit the hearts of big cities. Just ask the folks of Fort Worth. Look at the damage after a tornado blew through the downtown area in 2000. High-rises left with thousands of windows blown out. The price tag to fix it all? Some $500 million. And check this out, downtown Miami. Fortunately, this 1997 twister didn't kill anyone, but unusual for that time to have so many funnel clouds captured on camera. Also rare, a tornado in Miami, a city better known, of course, for its hurricanes. And if you're thinking a tornado can't hit downtown Chicago, you'd be wrong, because it did. Back in 1876, here's the path. Starting southwest of downtown near the south branch of the Chicago River, across what is now the Loop, before moving out to Lake Michigan near Streeterville. 2 people were killed. Damage totaled $250,000, but that was 1876, of course. A 2014 study estimated that a major tornado striking Chicago now could cause $20 billion in damage. Here's Ed again with a look at how engineers design buildings to withstand the most powerful of storms.
Today's super strong skyscrapers are designed to withstand winds that may come along once every 1,700 years because wind is the most important load factor.
It's more important than seismic or even gravity, believe it or not.
When it comes to tall buildings, Bill Baker is a rock star. He engineered the world's tallest building.
This is the Burj Khalifa, which even though it's in Dubai, was designed in Chicago.
Rising a half-mile into the sky, it's like putting the Hancock on top of Willis Tower. Its changing shape is important.
There's setbacks about every 10 floors, and about every 30 floors, it makes one cycle.
That design confuses the wind.
As the wind goes by, each of these floor plates will generate vortices at a different rate, a slightly different rate than those of its neighbors, so the wind never gets very, very well organized.
The second tallest building in Chicago is Trump Tower. Like the Burj, Hancock, and Willis, Trump is designed by Skidmore, Owings, Merrill, or SOM. Baker and his team engineered it. Here's the aeroelastic model used in wind tunnel testing.
Besides replicating the shape of the building, it actually replicates the structural behavior of the building.
Trump is a very quiet building in the wind, and what winds could ever take hold of the dizzying design of SOM's Cayenne Tower, also in Dubai. It's more than just a clever design, it's really designed to cheat the wind.
Yes,
right?
yes. Well, we like confuse the wind.
Confuse the wind.
Confuse the wind, so it doesn't get organized.
And yes, buildings sway about 2 feet to each side per 1,000 feet in height. And the speed of the sway is controlled to prevent motion sickness.
This is our home away from home, the CBS 2 Weather Center. And one critical tool we use during storm coverage is the National Weather Service live chat room. We can ask questions about the storms or discuss them with other meteorologists, and sometimes we learn that a warning is about to be issued before it officially comes out, and that just gives us a head start on coverage.
Our radar capabilities here at CBS 2 are just fantastic. Take a look at this. We can track the storm based on the miles per hour movement of the storm and tell you what towns lie in path of that storm. Now, here in the Chicago area, we can zoom right into ground level, and there's U.S. Cellular Field, and show you where the storm is on radar in relationship to your home.
Another thing I really love about our radar here at CBS 2 is the fact that we have so many different elements that we can tap into. For instance, we can track hail, we can track the watches and warnings, as well as thunder and lightning. We can see if there's lightning in Iowa that might be heading our way. It's all very important, a very critical tool to tell you what's moving in our direction.
One thing you'd like to do is to get as much time ahead of storms as possible. We can do that with Futurecast. Look at storms, where they're headed, whether they're to the east of you or a new line of storms developing to the west. Critical for what time of day it could affect you. Will it be the morning rush? Will it be while you're having lunch? Will it be on the way back home? Futurecast is one of the tools that allows us to do that.
Here's a weather myth. The safest place to take shelter during a tornado is the southwest corner of a basement. Well, while the basement is a good idea, the southwest corner is no safer than any other spot. Just get as far away from windows as possible.
Show her you care. 1 carat emerald, sapphire, and ruby hearts are $79, diamond studs $99, half carat 3-stone and halo rings $3.99. The Jewelry Exchange guarantees their jewelry to appraise for double by Factory Direct. The Jewelry Exchange in Villa Park.
I was petrified when I was first diagnosed. Less than a week from my phone call, I was at Cancer Treatment Centers of America.
The patient is surrounded by multiple experts. One team from the diagnosis all the way to the transplant.
The Hematologic Oncology Center includes a comprehensive FACT-accredited stem cell transplant program for patients battling blood cancers.
Every day I feel stronger. I feel great.
Call or go to cancercenter.com. Cancer Treatment Centers of America and suburban Chicago. Care that never quits. Appointments available now.
If a tornado is headed your way, go to the lowest level. Make sure heavy items like pianos and refrigerators are not on the floor directly above you. Protect yourself from flying debris with thick padding like a mattress or blanket, and wear a helmet.
You open and close it several times a day, but did you know your garage door can be the weak link when storms hit?
Gosh, that is a monster tornado.
May 22nd, 2011, Joplin, Missouri. It was a monster EF5 tornado. A study after the fact found a lightweight garage door can be the first entry point for high winds and pressure changes into your home. Scott Phillips is a garage door expert. He showed me the difference between the weak and the strong.
It can be very, tin can-ish.
That is the sound of a single-sided pan door, the weakest link in the garage door arsenal. Steel on one side, and on the other, simply insulation.
It doesn't make it any stronger, it just makes it insulated.
A door like this that a lot of people have in maybe older homes, they probably don't even look at it.
No.
How much wind is that gonna?
Probably 60 to 80 miles an hour winds you could probably withstand with a single-sided.
But that's it.
Yeah. That's not a whole lot.
A single-sided door starts around $800. For around $400 additional dollars, you can get the double-sided steel door installed in most new homes. The stronger door sounds like this. Yeah,
this one is a lot more solid.
2 sides of steel and much stronger.
80 or 90 mile an hour winds, you could probably withstand those.
No matter which door you have, there are simple, less expensive additions that can up the unit's wind load capacity.
With more of these reinforcing struts on each panel, so you have to add more of these, and then they have clips that go on the track, which we can look at, that is additional reinforcement to keep the track on the wall.
Here's Mary Kay now with one weather threat that people often overlook.
Lightning is the second leading cause of weather-related deaths in the U.S., right behind flooding. And this year, an estimated 1,000 Americans will be struck by lightning. But there are ways to protect yourself.
If I see the clouds and everything changing very quickly, if it gets dark outside very quick, I know it's time.
These parents in Orland Park know it's time to go inside. What if you were here out in this open area?
I would probably go in like one of the restrooms or something.
having that lightning alarm we think is very critical for the safety of the community. We have about half of our public works employees are trained storm spotters, as well as most of our police officers.
The displays are spectacular, but completely unpredictable and can be deadly. If you hear the thunder, you are close enough to be struck by the lightning. The National Weather Service office in Romeoville issues the warnings that we broadcast to you at home. They say wait 30 minutes after the last flash before leaving your shelter.
Statistics have shown that most people get hit by the very first flash or last flash because it could be sunny when you're struck, right?
Lightning can strike up to 10 miles away from the storm, and even people who wait too long to go shelter, sometimes they're the ones who get hit.
An enclosed building is best, not an open gazebo.
This is new advice from the National Weather Service. No longer are they doing the last resort, crouch down, stay on the balls of your feet, stay as low as you can be. That's no longer recommended.
No, it's not, because we're just stressing anytime you're outdoors during a thunderstorm, you're in danger. There's no safe place outside in the elements during a thunderstorm.
So remember, if you're out and about in a playground and a storm takes shape, it may be best to just find shelter inside of your car.
99 plus lightning strikes, and I was up all night literally observing this and trying to get the information out.
That's Ron Leffler, a CBS 2 weather watcher. Check out his two 55-foot tall weather stations in his Burr Ridge backyard.
He's just one of 400 plus weather watchers throughout the Chicago area. All eyes and ears to help us know exactly what's happening in your neighborhood as it's happening. A weather team unsurpassed in Chicago.
I visited CBS 2 weather watcher Alex on the southwest side. More information from more places makes for a more accurate forecast. A security guard by profession, but in his spare time sends us critical weather information. Ed visited Jimmy, a retired cop, a lifelong ham radio operator, and a trained National Weather Service spotter. He has the know-how and equipment to help keep Chicago safe.
You can't see a tornado.
That's what I tell people. We need eyes on the ground.
Boots on the ground, absolutely.
That's right. You need someone who tells you that it's not snowing here, it's sleeting here, or someone who tells you there is a tornado on the ground right now. You only get that from human interaction.
So to Ron, Jimmy, Alex, and all of our weather watchers, we say thank you for helping all of us keep all of you safe and informed. We'll be right back.
You live in the state of extremes, from brutal summer days to wicked winters. Luckily, Illinois' nuclear energy plants keep the power flowing day in and day out with no carbon emissions. Now some of these plants may shut down because of outdated energy policies, costing up to 8,000 Illinois jobs, $1.8 billion in lost economic activity every year, $500 million a year in higher energy costs statewide, and a lot less clean air. If we lose these plants, things could get really uncomfortable. Members of the Illinois General Assembly, vote to keep our nuclear plants open.
Brookside chocolate now has a crunch. Brookside Crunchy Clusters. Crispy multigrains and sweet fruit-flavored pieces dipped in rich dark chocolate. Discover Brookside Crunchy Clusters.
There's parallel parking, or there's parking that's unparalleled. And 2 miles per gallon difference may not seem like much until you have to walk it. Now more than ever, reliability is an American thing. Drive the all-new Chrysler 200 during the Chrysler Award Season event. Well-qualified lessees get a low-mileage lease on 200 Limited for $199 a month, or purchase and get these cash allowances.
Megan Blairo's CBS 2 Morning News. Weekdays starting at 4:30.
At the heart of the mobile weather lab is this weather station with no moving parts. Doppler is used to tell us what kind of precip, even the size of raindrops. Ultrasound is used to tell us the wind direction and wind speed. The barometer is measured here, and finally the temperature, and all this data is sent to the back of the vehicle, Megan.
Which Ed is where we can share it with all of you at home. It's really cool. We've got all kinds of information that can tell you what we've got wherever the mobile weather lab has gone.
We have several cameras on board the mobile weather lab. We have a number of GoPros that are mounted throughout the vehicle, but this particular one is the one we can address and broadcast to you at home as we move through town. But there is a camera outside that gives you a great look at the sky. Steve?
It's operated by a joystick, almost like operating a video game. That camera we can take and do a 360 up, and especially looking at the sky, getting a sense of any weather that's headed in this direction. We can literally stay on top of the weather.
Our mobile weather lab is a great tool for weather and news. We used it in the tornado-torn areas of Rochelle and Fairdale. The mobile weather lab and all its equipment allows us to bring you weather as it's happening and to bring you the results of weather. Look at this, the tornado that went through Rochelle, Illinois, and what it did to this family-owned farm. In the family for generations, reduced to this in just a matter of seconds. And before Fairdale's hardest hit area was officially open to media, the Mobile Weather Lab's rooftop camera captured the scene. We were able to later compare images from Google Street View with video and still images we shot from the vehicle. You can only know the scope of what you've lost when you compare it to what stood here before.
Severe weather can strike at any time of the day, while you're at work and the kids are at school. And that's a risk that districts here don't take lightly. Sites like this make schools like this jump into action.
Your attention, please.
It's only a drill, but Oswego High School has a definite plan, just in case.
You need to be away from the window. You should have covered.
School District 308 knows the importance of having a customized drill.
It's really important because we have a really big school. Each grade is getting bigger and each grade needs to know what to do and where to go.
And that's the key, knowing exactly where to go. Students are guided to spots with no windows. Not only would shattered glass be dangerous, as you can see in this surveillance video from a Missouri school, but 200-mile-per-hour winds can turn ordinary objects into missiles. Flying debris is the biggest tornado hazard. The goal is to put as many walls as possible between the students and the storm.
I feel like our school keeps us very safe.
Like many other schools, Oswego High has renovated and added on to accommodate for more students, forcing the drill to constantly change. Oswego's fire marshal and police chief observed today's drill. So you were impressed?
Absolutely, absolutely.
Because seconds count when you're talking a tornado.
They sure do, and that's why the pre-planning and the pre-drills, are so important, because then it's just second nature.
We can anticipate them more than we can in the past, but it's still important to get to a safe place.
This concludes our tornado drill.
Smartphones and social media are effective and inexpensive ways to keep parents in the loop.
Facebook and Twitter feeds to parents that give them instant access to communication. Years ago, it was news had to report, or a phone calling system would delay parents at the end getting the message later.
It all comes down to students being able to take immediate action in a crisis situation.
Make sure that we can do everything that is in our power to make sure that our students and staff are safe in the building.
Here's another weather myth. A highway overpass is a safe place to be if you're driving and a tornado is nearby. That's wrong. Instead, go to the nearest ditch and cover your head and neck.
People of the coffee drinking world, Dunkin' has a dark roast coffee that's deliciously roasted just right for a bold start and smooth finish that's never bitter. Put down the dark roast you've been putting up with and reach for the one you deserve. America runs on Dunkin'.
Looking for a great gift at a great price for Mother's Day? FromYouFlowers.com has the best value, no stress offer that will be sure to make Mom smile. Surprise and dazzle your mom with this special TV offer that includes 1 dozen roses for just $19.99. That's 50% off regular retail pricing. And if you really want to warm her heart, create a one-of-a-kind custom photo vase she can cherish for a lifetime for just $10 more. Just go to FromYouFlowers.com, click on the TV icon, and type in Game.
These flowers are just beautiful. They're fresh, they're bright, I just love them.
I love the photo vase. It was really touching when it arrived. I will treasure this for a long time.
I wanted to do something extra special, and there's nothing better than the call I got from my happy mom when her gift arrived.
Supplies are limited, so act now. And with a 100% satisfaction guarantee, you can trust that your flowers will arrive fresh and on time. Because when it's for her, make it From You Flowers.
Every cup has a story.
I love the taste.
Always smooth, never bitter.
My cup of coffee is always awesome when I go to Dunkin'. I see the steam rising off the cup because you know it's a fresh pot.
1 cup a day for sure, 2 if need be. And it's usually need be.
Dunkin', your place for coffee.
Just off a black road, and behind us and over to the left, you can see one of those huge power lines that went down. That was me covering the Plainfield tornado back in 1990. On the 25th anniversary of a natural disaster the Chicago area will never forget, I returned to see a rebuilt and thriving town.
After the tornado, Plainfield boomed.
Lisa Kloss shows me around the rebuilt Plainfield Central High School, a far cry from how it looked back in August of 1990.
The whole roof had come down and was piled inside the gym.
From the gym to the hallways to the classrooms, you can see how the 260-mile-an-hour winds destroyed the school. Mrs. Kloss was a volleyball coach at the time. She and other coaches likely saved the lives of many of their student athletes.
We did the classic, sit down with your back to the wall, cover your head, and you know how people say that it sounds like a train, and it did.
Being a lifelong educator, Mrs. Kloss now uses the Plainfield tornado as the ultimate teachable moment. She created a PowerPoint slideshow with images like these. Why do you have the PowerPoint?
Every year in the fall, before we have our first tornado drill with the kids, I show my students that. I want them to know why we drill. I want them to take it seriously.
This location is right in the middle of the path of the storm, 16 miles long from Kendall County through Will, 470 homes destroyed, 1,000 buildings damaged, and 29 people lost their lives. This monument is dedicated to those who died. Just down the street, we meet Sue Hassenjaeger, now a member of the Plainfield Historical Society, and planning events to commemorate the 25th anniversary. So, the day of the storm, you're at work, owner of a couple of businesses here,
I
right?
was, yes. And I thought, oh my, the sky is getting very strange looking. I looked out the front window and I saw my car. It was hovering about 4 feet off the ground. I turned from the window and everything imploded.
Less than a mile away sits St. Mary's Immaculate Church, a beautiful building filled with stained glass, the Virgin Mary, and Jesus. This building itself can be considered somewhat of a resurrection.
The buildings here were totally destroyed.
Chopper 2 flew over the collapsed steeple back in 1990. Inside the sanctuary, a mess, debris everywhere, a congregation in shambles. What do you hope is remembered?
People who were here remember how everybody pulled together. Having faced a day where it looked like everything was lost, new life came here. And new life in ways that people could never imagine.
Thanks for watching. If you want more information to keep you and your family safe, go to cbschicago.com.
And don't take Mother Nature lightly, and don't ignore watches and warnings.
Do you have a plan in case there's a weather emergency? You may want to consider getting one of these. It's a NOAA weather radio. They're available at Walgreens.
So, among the four of us, the equipment here in the Weather Center, the mobile weather lab, and our network of weather watchers, we've got you covered. Stay safe.